The notice arrived at 6:47 a.m. Jerusalem time, a single-page document, signed by the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, stamped with the seal of his transitional government. No ceremony, no press conference, just 274 words that shifted the balance of power across 3 continents. Within hours, Tel Aviv went into overdrive. Emergency meetings were convened. Intelligence briefings scrambled. And Israeli media? Silenced, blacked out. But across Africa, the news didn't need a microphone. It moved like fire in dry grass. Because Traoré's message wasn't diplomatic. It was personal. It wasn't a plea. It was a line drawn in the sand. And Netanyahu was already standing on the wrong side of it. Let's rewind. Just 4 days earlier, leaked documents from a confidential summit in Nairobi exposed something explosive. A covert initiative led by Israeli diplomats and private contractors. Its goal? To reshape West African alliances under a single name, New Frontier. But the mission itself? Old as empire. Manipulate regional leaders. Contain Traoré's influence. Secure long-term economic control. And the leaks didn't stop. Voice recordings, draft memos, even a diplomatic back-channel message from Tel Aviv to Abidjan. But buried inside one document was a single sentence. That sparked a continental blaze. Traoré's rise must be neutralized before Q4. That's when everything shifted. The silence from Ouagadougou broke. Traoré appeared on state television. Not flanked by advisors, not reading from a script. Just him, standing firm, addressing Netanyahu. Addressing the world. His words, "Africa is not a chessboard, and I am not your piece." Then came the notice. A formal demand. Israel must, within 30 days, cease all covert activity, resource extraction, and political interference in the West African bloc. All military advisors linked to intelligence operations must withdraw. All shell companies operating in Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Guinea must declare assets or face immediate seizure. And if Israel refused, Traoré promised a coordinated diplomatic campaign to shut down Israeli embassies across 14 African nations. This wasn't a warning. It was a shot across the bow. In Tel Aviv, the reaction was fast but split. Inside Netanyahu's war cabinet, panic clashed with arrogance. Some believed Traoré was bluffing, that his words would vanish in the noise of global news. But others knew better, especially when South Africa, Senegal, and even Nigeria expressed public solidarity, backing Traoré's right to resist foreign influence. Then the streets spoke. From Accra to Addis Ababa, young people marched with signs that read, "Africa will not be moved." Traoré speaks, we listen. Netanyahu, take your hands off our soil. And in Europe, shock turned into strategy. France responded first, a vague statement. Words like dialogue, stability, restraint. But it wasn't reassurance, it was nervousness in a diplomatic disguise. The EU followed. They called for a balanced approach. But even behind their polished language, the fear was visible. Because deep down, they all knew the truth. Traoré had done what no one expected. He didn't just challenge Israel's role in Africa. He isolated it. And now the question hanging in every conference room from Brussels to DC, who's next? Inside the African Union, a rare emergency session was called. Burkina Faso's delegation arrived with a document, 12 pages long. Not emotion, evidence. A meticulous breakdown of decades of quiet exploitation, covert influence, and financial manipulation, all traced back to foreign contractors with links to Israeli firms. The title of the report? Shadow Investments, How Sovereignty Was Sold. It didn't just name names, it mapped the entire ecosystem. Bank accounts, shell companies, off-the-record meetings, deals signed in hotel suites, far from public eyes. And when the report was read aloud, the room didn't move. Western diplomats tried to dismiss it, called it incomplete, politically motivated. But their intelligence agencies didn't agree. A leaked Mossad analysis, circulating within top Israeli security circles, described Ibrahim Traoré as the most dangerous non-aligned leader of the decade. Not because of his arsenal, not because of any war machine, but because of his influence, because in a world built on quiet compliance, Traoré leads without permission. And that makes him dangerous. To the system. This is the heart of it. For decades, African leaders were expected to play along. Smile for the cameras, shake the hands of foreign presidents, accept the terms, never question them. But Traoré, he didn't just question them, he rewrote them. And now, Netanyahu is on unfamiliar ground. He's faced threats before. but from parliaments, from armies, from organized states, not from a 35-year-old revolutionary in fatigues, not from someone building a Pan-African movement, grounded not in politics but in justice. So what happens next? No one knows. But already, African embassies are re-examining contracts, nations are revisiting trade deals signed in silence, and youth movements, they're taking notes and making demands. From Nairobi to Niamey, people are no longer just watching. They're organizing. And in Israel, a single statement from Netanyahu's office. The Prime Minister is reviewing the notice carefully. But analysts are clear. This isn't a review. It's a reckoning. And not just for Israel. For every government, every firm, every institution that treated Africa like a prize, not a partner. Because what Traore delivered wasn't a threat. It was a reminder that Africa remembers that dignity isn't negotiable. That silence is no longer an option. And this may just be the beginning.